I'm Emily Drennan. I'm the curator here at the Hearst Center and registrar. This is the registrar part. I'm going to show you this piece here. It's a tapestry. It's wool. It's by Ruth Hardinger. She's an Iowa native, lives now in Manhattan. She's working there. She's a recent recipient of, what is it, Manna Contemporary, has given her a grant to do a show coming up this winter, and we're going to have information about that on our website too. But this piece is going to be shown pretty soon. We have a small show going up during the First 50 exhibition. So I'm going to show this piece. It was made when she was down in Mexico. She worked with a family, Herman Vasquez, who was a master weaver. And she came up with this drawing while she was working down there. And it talks about the history of the culture of Oaxaca. You can go from ancient to getting closer to the present. And then this image here is, well, this was created right after 9/11. And she was thinking about what was going on in the world and showing the history of that. And these are tile patterns and some symbolism from culture.
Do we know how long it took her to make?
I don't know. I know that she lived with the family. She was there as part of a Fulbright scholarship, a Fulbright trip. She lived with the family. She stayed with them for quite a while. I guess I'm not sure how long.
Okay, Emily, who is this person? What is this?
This is Man with Upraised Arms by Ralph Haskell. This came to us from his wife, Mary Haskell Hansen. She gave us many of his pieces over the years, and we're super grateful. We have always really, really loved this piece.
What happened to it?
We used it to greet people into the building for a long time, and unfortunately one day there was a really excited child that accidentally knocked him over. So he got broken here, got crushed on his chest a little bit. So we're hoping that we'll be able to raise some funds to do some conservation work on him. We miss him at the front of the building. It just struck the right note for us.
Well, tell me about the mystery of what it's made of.
Oh, sure. In the 60s, at the University of Northern Iowa, and probably lots of places, sculptors were using experimental materials. So from what I understand, he was mixing metals and plastics together, heating them up, and creating new materials from those mixtures to make these kinds of surfaces. We don't know for sure what it's made of. We know that there's some paint. We know that there's some resins and things like that, but we're not totally sure, and we can't recreate it. So it's going to have to go and take a little trip to a conservation place.
And it doesn't weigh very much, does it?
It doesn't weigh very much. Yeah, it's hollow. It looks like it's solid bronze or something, but it's not. It's very lightweight, except for his little base there.
Tell me about this piece.
I love this piece. This has been at the Hearst Center since 1990, whenever Ferner gave it to us. I think it was 1990. This is a depiction of Atalaya Hill. It's the place where Marjorie lived when she was in New Mexico, in the Mexico area. She painted this, I think it's 42. But when we discovered, we were having it reframed, and we discovered that it was in what the conservators called an acid sandwich. There were a backing board and a mat board, and it was all adhered. It was all stuck together, and there were miles of tape and just horrible materials. So it just got some conservation work done. It took us a long time to do it because we had to raise some funds.
How much did it cost?
It was about $5,000.
How long did it take them?
I think it was up in Minneapolis for quite a while, but for them to actually do the work was just a few months. But it matters because we're sort of the repository for Marjorie Nuhn's work in the world. She's a Cedar Falls person, she's a Cedar Falls artist, and though her work was shown nationally, she showed a lot in New Mexico, she also showed her work in New York. It really matters the most to the citizens of Cedar Falls. She's our person. So she used to show her work in Cedar Falls in her lifetime. The Hearsts collected her work. When her brother owned a pharmacy up on the hill with Robert Berg, you can still see on the corner it says Berg Nuhn. It was a pharmacy on that corner, and she would show her work there on the second floor. There was a gallery.
Fantastic.
Blah, blah, blah.